Okay, should be live. Bull stream should be good to go here. All right, we'll be going over the market as well as today's plays. All right, we also had FOMC today. Okay, so we'll see what that impact that had on the Q SPY and IWM. So let's go ahead and get started. Good afternoon. This is Ifan from the Strategic Day Trader, and this is your market wrap for July 28th, 2021. Qs closing up here at 0.38, SPY basically flat, and then the IWM up 1.5. The big question that we had coming into this week, because of the way that the IWM started off the week, was will the IWM be able to turn the corner? So it looked like it tried on Monday, couldn't go, tried to go lower yesterday, and today now taking out that line in the sand that we had for the IWM. So what does the IWM need to do in order to be bullish? Now that we're no longer bearish on it, doesn't necessarily mean we're bullish. We do need to see either the IWM move up and then the next pullback will be a buyable opportunity, or if it stays in this range over the next couple days and then breaks out from there, then I would expect the IWM higher, and then we'll get some more alignment between the IWM, the Qs, and the SPY. Okay, so that was the question that we had coming into this week. Looked like yesterday that the IWM was not going to be able to turn the corner, but today, negating yesterday's price action, actually getting above the high from Monday. Okay, so it's actually good that we got that little bit of a move yesterday. So we do get to see what bearishness there is. So then that'll make kind of the next either breakout or pullback all the more effective. Okay, so IWM, which has been in this downtrend for about a month, and we were kind of looking back, comparing it between that the weekly on the IWM has really been basing there for 3 months, while the Qs and SPY were grinding higher. So will it be time now for IWM to kind of pick up the slack, or at least catch up? We'll see. Okay, a bit early to say, but you know, this kind of lagging behind is what we have seen kind of all year. But that last month or so was the first time we saw the IWM actually turn into a bit of a downtrend there on the daily. Okay. All right. So going into tomorrow, just like we were today, bullish on the Qs and SPY, using yesterday's low as the important reference of support. If we break that and we get follow through, next sell setup, next base breakdown will be a short-term bearish bias. Okay, on both of these. All right, let's take a look at today's plays. Now, the interesting thing, we had all these earnings gaps. Tilray's the only one that got played here. Nice call from Sammy here on this 5-minute pullback on the Tilray. Okay, but most of the stuff that we played and that we looked at still ended up being things that had some kind of other news, either clinical trial or some other kind of thing like that. So, you know, right now where we're seeing kind of a lot of the movement is still not from primarily the earnings names. So I think we're still kind of building up into the peak of earnings. But hopefully as we get more and more, we'll start to see a little bit more. You can see also the plays that I'm going over. We're only going over a few a day because that's all that we're doing. I think as we get into next week and the week after, I expect to see a lot more plays. Okay, so the Tilray we already went over. That was a nice call there. Here was the gap, reversing that downtrend there on the Tilray. Okay, and then you got a 5-minute pullback that turned into a base. The Infi was a base breakout. Here was the gap. So nice reversal here on the gap, right? And did run into some resistance here, but I did like the shock value of the gap, the reversal of that. We saw something similar, I think it was probably 2 weeks ago now, on the CEMI, but this was more of a breakdown in a much larger gap Okay, so not quite as powerful, but the NFI also reversing a breakdown caused by that gap, and then gave us in the near the open. It had already kind of recovered from that pullback, just a breakout right here. Okay, that was the idea there on the NFI. You can see it on the 2-minute as well here. Also, nice base, 20 MA catches up, so that was the breakout there. And then also the NAOV. NAOV, you see daily doing kind of an incomplete buy setup, right? We get the move up and then the pullback, and then today continuing higher. There was a nice call on it in the morning on the initial break of the opening range, and then we had another after it pulled back, and then base breakout and continuation. Okay, on the NAOV. Okay, so like the NAOV, the NFI, this is more in line with what we were already, the kind of plays that we're already doing in June and May. And so, you know, of course, Tilray had its earnings, gave us this opportunity, but I'm expecting more, okay, going into the rest of the week and especially next week. So hopefully, that's what we'll start to see, because I think for right now, you know, a lot of the earnings gaps aren't really going anywhere. They aren't producing a lot of follow through. And then also location wise, they're not really doing that much to change the chart. So, you know, I'm expecting a little bit more here. The good thing is we still get plays from the earnings, and it's just this normal plays that we're already playing. And so I'm just expecting the earnings list and earnings gaps to start adding a lot more opportunities. Okay. And then hopefully as that starts to go, we can start to pick up the aggressiveness. Still looking for that to say when we can start to be more aggressive and take more than just 3 or 4 plays a day. Okay? All right. But I hope you did well today. We will be back at it tomorrow, and I will talk to you then. Have a good evening.